That's on record.
He was
You can, yeah.
currency collector.
Please send me some
Well,
dollars.
he figured out a good way to
Yeah,
collect the currency. He took over the country. Yeah.
Our learning sponsors, a year of learning, Gail and Leslie Kaplan, in memory of their parents, Mushka Sprinza Bad Yosef Chaim Bechava, Hanan ben Moshe Eliezer the Chana, Pesha Bas Shmuel Yitzchak Halevi Vitzipora, Isser ben Yoel Moshe Cohen Bechana. Rexford Friends of Gladys Sherman, Gutabat Meir, Michael Klein and Friends of Judah Klein, Yehuda Tzvi ben Chaim, Marsha Braun in memory of her husband, Harav Yerachmiel ben Shmuel, Friends and Family of Arthur Ritholtz, Mordechai Yidl ben Baruch Lipa Kohen, Friends and Family of Siki Besla, Shalom Shraga ben Dov Shalom, Friends of Marvin Weinstein, Mordechai Ozer ben Yisrael Aharon, Sarah Alpert in memory of her husband, Harav Tzvi Lipa ben Hillel. Rexford Friends of Maddie Friedman, Mendel Miriam Bas Kalman Reuven, Bella and David Adler in memory of her father, Eliyahu ben Yosef Akohen. Friends of Honey Chaffetz, Chana Shoshana Bas Yosef. Friends of Jack Prince, Yaakov Yitzchak ben Shmuel Dov. A Month of Learning by Jack Gilman in memory of his father, Yitzchak ben Avram Chaim, Carol and Josh Sambord, and in memory of her mother, Yitta Bas Nachman ben Yomen. A Week of Learning, Lenny Behar in memory of her husband, Yitzchak ben Menachem, Sharon and Michael Glass in memory of her father, Shlomo ben Yosef HaKohen. And today we have a day of learning. Today is the 26th. No, today's the 27th. No day of learning today. We wish everyone a good day.
No, but we weren't here yesterday, so do the
Very good,
26th.
very good. Barbara Gallandauer, in memory of her father, Binyamin ben Yehuda.
Sure.
All neshamas should have an aliyah.
Okay, Bosa, we're at the beginning of the Masechta. The Gemara is going to have two ways to read this Mishnah. We're going to read it one way today and one way tomorrow. The Maisa, we're going to read the Mishnah today the way they read it tomorrow, just to make it easy. And then we'll see the two possibilities. Now, one of the things that we discuss is a principle called Hezek Re'iyah. Hezek Re'iyah is an idea, usually if you speak about damages, somebody took somebody's property, they marred it, they mangled it, they destroyed it. Here we have a question of Hezek Re'iyah is an idea that by somebody seeing into your property, either they see what your private affairs, or they force you to not conduct your private affairs. Either way, it's considered to be, according to one opinion, that's considered damage, and the other opinion says no, it's not considered damage. Today we're going to read the Mishnah according as if the Mishnah believes that Hezek Re'iyah, damage by seeing, is really called damage, right? And that's the way the Gemara is going to read tomorrow. But we'll see. We're going to read the Mishnah that way today. The Mishnah says, as she was talking, the same partners that we were talking about at the end of last Masechta, but now they're partners in a courtyard. Shiratzu lasos mechitza v'chatzer, and they have decided to divide their courtyard, and they agree that they're going to build a wall. They want to build a. They agree. So the way we're reading it, they wanted to build a partition in the courtyard. Bonin. So what do? Once they agree to build a partition, they must build a sakosovem. So they build a wall in the middle of the courtyard. Okay, and meaning what? And they meaning what? That each one of them provides half of the space. Each one provides half of the space. Malcolm Shanagu Libnos. Okay, but now what do they? How do they build it? So we follow the custom of the place. Now, what does that mean? There's two opinions. One opinion is how they build in the city, or how the people who divide courtyards build. But either way, you build the normal wall that they build. Gvil, if the normal way that they build is gvil, is undressed stone, okay, which is thicker. The gazis, or if they build it in dressed stone, which is thinner. Bonin, okay, you build it the way that they build it. Hakol kamin everything like the custom, okay, and therefore what? You follow the custom, and no partner can force the other guy to build in a different way. Gvil, and here's another chiddush. Gvil, let's say using undressed stone, okay, which is 6 wide. Zeno say shlosha tvachim, Zeno say shlosha tvachim. Each of them gives what? Each of them gives 3 tvachim, and then they split right. They split up. They split exactly the amount, okay, that it takes up. Gazis. Let's say they do it in dress stone, Zenos, which is thinner, which is only 5 tvachim. So therefore, what Zenos ain't tvachim machzah. This one gives 2.5 tvachim hand breast. Zenos ain't tvachim machzah. This one gives 2.5. Bikfisin. Let's say the custom is to build with half bricks. Remember, I told you yesterday, so half bricks are actually thicker than whole bricks. Why? A whole brick is exactly. A whole brick is 3 tvachim wide, and half bricks are 1.5. But they put a half a tefach of cement in between. So building with half bricks is actually a wall of 4 wide, as opposed to a whole bricks, which is a wall of 3 wide. So if we build with half bricks, Zenos ain't tvachim, each one has to contribute 2, and this one contributes 2. But the beta, if they use whole bricks, which are 3, Zenos ain't tefach machzah. This one gives a tefach and a half. But Zenos ain't tefach machzah, and this one gives a tefach and a half. Therefore, since the rule is that whenever they agree to build it, they have to share both in the property and in the material. If the wall fell down, so then we automatically rule that the place where the wall was is divided between the two of them, and the rocks belong to both of them. Even if all the stones belong to one guy's courtyard, it doesn't make a difference. And even if they were there for a long time, it makes no difference because we all know that the rule is that they built it together. Now it says V'chein begina. Similarly, when it comes to a garden where you grow things, you grow fruits and vegetables. Okay, makom shenagu ligdar mechai. That's automatically considered a place where the custom is to fence it between them and mechayvin also. And we obligate him, and we obligate him like we obligate him wants to build the wall when the friend wants to do it. Avol bebika, but we're out in the field. Okay, makom shenagu ligdar. That's the minhag is not to divide there. Nobody cares out in the pasture. Okay, but mechayvin also. Okay, and what we don't obligate him. El imratza. Okay, the only thing is what. So now in the field, if you want to build a wall, you can't force your neighbor to build with you. So what do you do? So what he does is, so therefore what he retreats into his own property enough to build the wall. And he builds it on his property with his own materials. But to protect himself, so everybody knows that it's his property and his wall, he makes a thick face on the front of the wall, okay, on the outside, on the side facing his neighbor, and he thickens the wall in an obvious sign that he built the wall and it's his place. The fikach, and therefore out in the field, okay, if the wall fell down, I don't care what happened. We automatically assume that all of the stones and all of the spaces to the guy who is inside in the opposite side where you put the facing sign. Let's say they both agreed, they did agree to build a wall, even though nobody could force the other guy to build it out in the field. So then they build it in the middle, like we usually do. But we make the facing sign thickening on both sides, okay? The fikach, and therefore, since everybody can see what happened, if the wall fell down, the place and the stones belong to both of them. Now, in the base medrash Savrua, they analyzed the Mishnah. My mechitza. Now, the problem with the word mechitza is that we don't know. We don't. We're going to see in a minute. We don't know how to read the word. Do we read the word mechitza as a partition, a physical wall, or mechitza, a division? In other words, a legal division. Is a mechitza a physical partition, or is a mechitza a legal partition? In other words, did people want to put up a physical partition in their courtyard that they're dividing, or did they want to dissolve their joint ownership? They wanted a mechitza. They wanted to dissolve the ownership. So you don't know if the word mechitza is to be read physically or to be read what? Legally, exactly. So we don't know what it is. So the answer is so they started out. They said, so my mechitza good. I said, no, you know what a mechitza is? It's a guda. It's a wall. It's a physical partition. What's a proof? Okay, now we're going to bring a proof that it's talking about a physical partition. Okay, the Tanya, as we learned, okay, the following. Mechitza sakerem. When it comes to you know that it's forbidden to have a vineyard, vines and grains are growing together, and if you plant them together, and the grain grows 1/200th, it becomes forbidden. Everything becomes forbidden. Now, so the thing is like this. So the rule is that the wall that divides a vineyard and the field, shenifritza, it became breached. Omerlo, either we say either the owner of the field of the grain field or the basin says to the owner of the vineyard, Gedor, here, build up the wall. Okay, why? Because so that your vines will not forbid the guy's field. Now now the question is, why is the vines forbidding the grain? Do the grains forbidding the wine? There are many answers, but one answer is like this. Remember, grain does not extend to the other guy's field. It's the vines that extend from one guy's property to the other. Right. It's the vines that go to the grain and not the grain that goes to the vine. So he says, put up the wall. He can say to him, Chazra, if it breached again, Omerle says to him again, Gedor, here, fence it in. This Yashiman, okay, but if the owner of the vineyard gave up, okay, and he's not doing with low gadra, and he neglected it, and he didn't fence it in. Hari's a kiddush if the grain grew 1/200th, okay, the kiddush, that's the word for it became forbidden. The chayav b'achrayusa, and the owner of the vineyard is obligated for the responsibility of paying back the damage to it. But the whole point here was not the law that we just learned. The whole point was that over there, when it spoke about the wall between them, what did it call it? It called it a mechitza, and a mechitza was a physical wall, and not a legal division. So we see clearly that when we use the word, when the Tanaim used the word mechitza, they made a physical wall. So the Gemara says, now I want to be careful. I want to show you. I just want to show you the ramifications. When we read our Mishnah, it says Hashutafin Sharatzu Lasos Mechitza. Partners that wanted to make a mechitza, boni nesakosel, they build the wall. So now I could read it. Let's read it the two ways that we thought possible for the moment. We now say that it means a physical partition. So I read it. Partners who wanted to build a physical partition, build the wall according to the custom, etc. Okay, that's one way to read it. The other way to read it is partners who wanted to dissolve their partnership, build a wall. Now you notice in one case the prerogative, wanting to or not, was whether they wanted to build a wall or not. So nobody has to build a wall. They build a wall if they want to build a wall. The other way, if I read partners who dissolve their partnership build a wall, then it's not a prerogative. You must build a wall. What's the ramifications? You see that we have an argument whether looking into somebody's business somebody's business in his courtyard is damage or not. If I say partners who wanted to dissolve their partnership build a wall, you see what? You must build a wall. It must be what? Because what? Because you're not allowed to look at this property. So
isn't building a wall in effect saying end of the partnership? This is my half. This is
but it's more than that. It's more than that. Remember, I can divide the partnership, put down tape to say keep out of my property.
Now now you understand the saying fences make good neighbors.
Yes, exactly. They do. It's a good point. So the point is like this: if I say you must put up a wall, it means that it's not sufficient to legally divide. You have to stop each other from looking at the other guy's property. If I say if they want to build a wall, they build a wall, then there's no law that says you can't look at the other guy's property. So
when it's joint, you avoid doing.
Okay, wait. We're going to come to that.
When it's your personal private property, you might put a bathing suit on and sit in the sun.
So that's the argument.
So the wall is necessary.
But here, my mate.
Then they don't both own the land. This one owns this piece of the land.
Exactly.
That's before they agree to divide.
No, I think the most important point is eluding us. The point is here that there's two ways to translate the word. If I translate the word mechitza as a legal dissolving, I'm dividing the partnership.
Nevertheless,
okay, then it's obligatory to put up a wall, and you see that you're not allowed to look at the other guy's property. If I say that it's a physical partition, it means if they want to make a partition, they build a wall. So now the building of the wall is their prerogative. So you see, there's no prohibition to be looking into another guy's property. I told you years ago, I used to hear Musa from Yitzhak Weinstein. Yitzhak Weinstein was very old at the time. He'd been a mashgiach in Slobodka. And he said that there was a meeting of the German doctors and the Russian doctors. So why do you tell the story? Because in Europe in those years before the war, the fight between the anti-Torah people, the Torah people was powerful. You have no idea. You have no idea. It was powerful. They were Jews all over Europe were trying to destroy the Torah. So one of these they used to make fun of Hezekah, a court case, everything's a court case. You got two guys, oh, it's a court case. You look at the other guy's thing, Okay, the answer is that's right, it's a court case. So he said, explain it. He said, what's going on? He said they had a meeting of the Russian doctors and the German doctors. So the German doctors were ridiculing the Russian doctors. They said, your country, he says, is 10 times our size, or whatever it is. And our country is 1/10 of your size. We have more doctors and more hospitals and hospital visits than all of Russia. You got 10 times the population and 10, and 1/10 of the doctors. You're doing nothing for the people. So the Russians laughed back, and the Russian. Pardon, I said the other way. The Russians made fun of the German doctors. They said your country's a fraction of our size, and you got 10 times the doctors, etc. You must be bad doctors. Yeah, you must be bad doctors. So the Germans laughed and they said, no, we're not bad doctors. The answer in Russia, you only go to the doctor when the guy's dying. He says, we in Germany, if a person has an ache or a pain or a lesion, we treat them. So we're much better. We treat everybody well. So he said the same thing by the Torah. He says, but by the other people, he says, yeah, well, nothing's a court case till it's bombers, till it's they're screaming. It's the end of the thing. He says, by us, he says, everything makes a difference. We're sensitive. Even looking at another guy's property, maybe you're limiting the person from doing his private affairs, etc. You know what he's doing. So that's also considered a court case. It's a much more refined and refined thing. So now, but again,
why isn't this case, Karen, brought as a riot